All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down Terra Nova, a climate tech platform with a seriously bold goal to completely change the game when it comes to tackling carbon emissions. We're going to go from their big picture vision all the way down to the real-world impact they're aiming for.
So this is the question that's really at the heart of the whole project. And I gotta say, it's a fascinating one. It's not just about solving a technical problem, they're asking if we can create something that's profitable, saves the planet, and is poetic? Something that actually connects with us on a human level. It's a pretty ambitious place to start, and it really sets the tone for everything that follows.
And that right there is the key. We're not just talking about another app or some new piece of software. This is being presented as a complete blueprint, a plan designed to do two really critical things at the same time. Create a genuine environmental impact you can see, while also building confidence with investors through results you can actually measure.
So, to really get how this all fits together, let's start with their core philosophy. What's the big idea that's driving this new climate vision? The secret sauce here isn't just one single invention. Nope. It's all about the fusion, the combination of several powerful technologies. They're all working together to help companies and people not just meet their net zero goals, but to get there way, way faster.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this mix. You've got blockchain, which is all about trust and making things transparent. You have AI for smart, intelligent tracking. Then you throw in gamification to get people involved and make it rewarding. And all of this is grounded in regenerative agriculture, farming that actually heals the soil and pulls carbon out of the air. Any one of these is powerful, but when you fuse them together, well, that's when you get something totally new.
Okay, so that's the big vision. But how does it all actually work? Let's dive into the mechanics of the platform and see how all those different pieces of tech actually come together to form a real working system. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. This isn't about cold, hard data and spreadsheets. The whole point is to build a system that people feel connected to, one where every single action feels like it matters, like it's part of a bigger, visible goal. It's all about getting us engaged on a much deeper level.
And here's the whole shebang. This is how they actually build that emotional infrastructure. We're talking about everything from fraud-proof carbon credits and automated contracts to AI-powered insights. So let's zoom in on a couple of the most critical pieces here.
So it all starts with trust. Let's be honest, one of the biggest headaches in the carbon offset market has always been, can you really verify this stuff? Well, by putting their carbon certificates on the blockchain, Terra Nova makes them completely traceable and basically fraud-proof. You know exactly what you're getting, and you've got the receipts to prove it. And this builds right on top of that foundation of trust. Think of smart contracts like little automated rule followers. In this system, their main job is to make sure that once a carbon credit is used, it's immediately retired. It's taken off the market for good, so it can never ever be sold or used again. This is a huge deal because it solves the massive double counting problem that has been a plague on the industry for years.
But look, you can have the best tech in the world, but how do you get tons of people to actually use it? That's where gamification comes into play. The platform uses these digital rewards called LogiE tokens. You earn tokens for taking positive climate actions, and it turns something that might feel like a chore into a really engaging experience. It creates this positive feedback loop that just encourages more and more people to participate.
So we've got the vision, we've got the tech, but the million-dollar question is always the same. Does it actually work? Let's take a look at the numbers and the kind of impact they're expecting.
And here it is, the big headline figure. The platform is projecting a potential 47% overall reduction in emissions for companies that adopt it. Just let that sink in for a minute. That is nearly half. And this isn't some number they just pulled out of thin air. It's calculated using the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, which is the global gold standard for carbon accounting. It just goes to show how incredibly powerful this kind of integrated approach could be.
And this chart gives us a perfect real-world example. We're looking at flare emissions, the burning of extra gas in industrial operations. And look at that drop, a 48% reduction. The before and after bars make it crystal clear. This isn't some tiny incremental change. This is a dramatic cut in a major source of pollution.
And the impact isn't just for big corporations. The whole system is designed to be flexible. That means, in certain sectors, the platform could drive emission reductions at the community level of over 50%. It really shows how this idea can scale, from a single factory all the way up to an entire local economy. Okay, we've seen the technology, we've seen the numbers. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. Why is this kind of approach so important right now? This slide, I think, just sums it all up perfectly. For so long, climate solutions have felt abstract, right? Complicated, out of reach for most of us. The Terra Nova way is all about making it tangible. It's about creating a system you can actually interact with, where you could see the results for yourself, and that can scale up to meet this enormous challenge we're all facing.
And in the end, it all comes back to this idea. This is the ultimate goal: to create systems that don't just do less harm, but that actively regenerate our planet. Systems that reward people for doing the right thing, and maybe most importantly, systems that resonate with us, that connect with us on an emotional level and inspire a change that actually lasts.
But this brings us to the fundamental question, the one that's probably been in the back of your mind this whole time. It's one thing to have a fantastic system on paper, but proof is everything. How does the blockchain really guarantee that these credits are real? Well, that is a fantastic question, and it's exactly what we're going to be breaking down in our next explainer.